there ain't no reconciliation. There ain't no fixing Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane issues. Pooh Shiesty, once off the label, like again, by force, by coercion, or Gucci Mane could just do it an easy way. But Gucci is thinking he could reconcile. Pooh Shiesty is at a point where he can't reconcile, according to Hernandez Gomez.
The streets have been buzzing nonstop for weeks about this whole situation. Now that loud silence is finally shattered, with real answers landing heavy. Posts started disappearing, money allegedly got pulled back, and the level of disrespect shook the hip-hop world instantly like an earthquake. Before even getting into Gucci's cold reaction, we have to rewind and really break down how things spiraled this far. Because this wasn't some overnight blow-up, it was pressure building behind the scenes. So how does a mentor-student relationship flip into one of the coldest betrayals hip-hop has seen in recent memory? This isn't just business going left, this turned personal fast. The deeper you dig, the messier it gets, and Gucci's response only poured more gasoline on an already explosive situation. Gucci is a certified legend who's been shaping the culture for over 2 decades. He helped lay the groundwork for trap music as we know it today, pushing raw sounds before labels even understood the wave. From grinding out gritty mixtapes to turning 1017 Records into a real powerhouse, Gucci built a system that launched artists into superstardom. He didn't just rap, he scouted, molded, and applied real pressure behind artists who went on to dominate charts and change the sound of the streets. That eye for raw ability has always been one of his sharpest weapons. Before the industry lights ever touched him, he already had a reputation in the streets, moving different and making noise in ways that turned heads for the wrong and right reasons. That reputation followed him, and ironically, it became part of what made his music connect so hard. His raw image lined up perfectly with his sound. Pooh wasn't focused on sounding clean or polished. He spoke directly from real-life situations, and that authenticity jumped out immediately. People couldn't help but notice how much his energy mirrored early Gucci Mane, that same reckless hunger and unapologetic delivery that feels dangerous on the mic. But here's the part most people miss. Pooh wasn't some random kid sitting around waiting to be discovered. What he lacked wasn't talent, it was access. He needed someone with real industry muscle to open doors and amplify the noise, and that's exactly where Gucci stepped in. Mutual connections from both the music and street sides kept pressing Gucci about this Memphis artist with bars and credibility. Once Gucci finally pressed play, he knew instantly this wasn't manufactured hype. The signing itself wasn't complicated at all. When Gucci sees value, he moves fast and direct. For Pooh Shiesty, signing with Gucci Mane felt like hitting the jackpot, and nobody imagined it would ever end up like this. Gucci Mane didn't just sign him and disappear. He really wrapped his arm around him and treated him like family from day one. Doors started flying open, top-tier producers got tapped in, and the full weight of 1017 Records was placed behind his career like Gucci truly believed in the long game. Gucci played the role of the seasoned vet who already survived the chaos, jail time, Together, they were dropping records that had the streets buzzing and the industry paying attention at the same time. The chemistry felt authentic, the momentum kept climbing, and nobody imagined this story would ever twist into something ugly. But reality has a way of stepping in hard when things look too perfect. Then the brakes slammed. Pooh caught a federal case and ended up locked down right when his career was picking up real speed. For most artists, that's where the story quietly ends. Labels move on, calls stop coming, and the spotlight fades without warning. But Gucci wasn't built like most label heads, and he didn't move like one either. He mentioned him in interviews, showed public support online, and made it clear to the industry that Pooh was still part of the future. That type of loyalty is rare in this business, especially when an artist can't record, tours, or generate money. It sent a strong message that Gucci still believed Pooh had value worth protecting. Meanwhile, the rap game didn't slow down at all. New faces popped up, sounds changed, and trends kept flipping fast. Still, Gucci made sure the door stayed cracked open, so when Pooh came home, there would still be a lane waiting for him. Anticipation built heavy, fans stayed locked in, and insiders were watching closely to see how this comeback would play out. When Pooh finally got released, Gucci was one of the first to publicly welcome him home. The post felt proud and genuine, like a mentor ready to pick things back up where they left off. On the surface, it looked like the perfect comeback chapter. But behind closed doors, something clearly wasn't lining up. During Pooh's time away, the energy had shifted in a big way. Instead of reconnecting fully with Gucci in 1017, Pooh started leaning back toward Memphis ties, especially Yo Gotti and CMG. That's where the situation took a sharp turn. Because Gucci and Yo Gotti don't have light tension, they have deep personal history. This isn't a simple industry disagreement or chart rivalry. The root traces back to Gucci's wife, Keisha Cower, having a past relationship with Yo Gotti during a time when Gucci was incarcerated. When Gucci found out, it created a fracture the streets never forgot, and that old wound was never fully healed. Certain lines are understood as off-limits in hip-hop, and that was one of them, no debate. So when Pooh Shiesty started publicly showing love to Yo Gotti, it didn't read like simple hometown pride anymore. To Gucci Mane, it looked like picking a side in a conflict that cut way deeper than music. Pooh's roots, his people, his family ties, and the city's pride all locked him closer to Gotti in ways Gucci could never match as an Atlanta figure. That tug-of-war created tension that never got addressed face-to-face, and once emotions start mixing with business, things stop being clean real fast. But loyalty in hip-hop has never been just about where you're from. It's about who stood next to you when everything was on the line. That's why what happened next hit completely different. Out of nowhere. Street talk started flying that Pooh Shiesty didn't just disrespect Gucci or violate some unwritten rule, but allegedly crossed a much darker line. The word on the street claimed he actually robbed Gucci, taking jewelry and money at gunpoint, and that shook the culture to its core. According to the stories circulating, this all went down during a studio session in Dallas. Pooh and some of his people were reportedly in the room with Gucci when tensions flared up fast. Whether it was about money, buried resentment, or the Memphis loyalty issue that never got resolved, something clearly snapped. Details stayed foggy, but multiple street sources claimed Gucci was forced to hand over his watch and even his wedding ring, which made the situation feel way more serious. Someone like Gucci, a man who survived the streets, prison, and the industry for decades, getting violated by his own artist is the ultimate line crossing. What made it sting even harder was that this wasn't some random situation with outsiders. This was someone Gucci backed publicly and privately. Gucci didn't just invest money, he invested belief and reputation. He kept Pooh's name alive when it wasn't profitable, protected his future, and treated him like family when most wouldn't. That's why the betrayal cut deeper than any financial loss ever could. And when word spread that Pooh's people were allegedly involved too, it made it feel less spontaneous and more calculated, which changed the whole tone of the situation. From Gucci's perspective, this had to feel like the coldest payoff imaginable. But instead of crashing out the way people expected, Gucci showed exactly why he's still standing in this game. He didn't rush into chaos or flood social media with emotional posts. Gucci moved quiet, surgical, and strategic, and those moves spoke louder than any diss record ever could. The first sign was subtle but heavy. He deleted the welcome home post for Pooh Shiesty. In today's digital world, erasing that public support is a loud message without saying a single word. That move alone told everyone the connection was officially dead. No confusion at all. But the real pressure didn't stay online. It moved quietly behind the scenes. Sources close to the situation said Gucci Mane immediately went into cleanup mode, working to recoup whatever money and assets he had put behind Pooh Shiesty after his release. Whether it was advances, jewelry, or financial backing, Gucci allegedly made sure to pull back whatever he legally and strategically could. The smartest part was how clean and controlled the move looked. No emotional blow-ups, no reckless statements, just business getting shut down instantly like a switch got flipped. Gucci didn't give anyone extra ammo, didn't escalate things publicly, and didn't lose his composure under pressure. Silence, in this case, spoke louder than anything else. It was like Pooh never mattered at all. And for someone already trying to rebuild his name after prison, losing Gucci's support was a brutal hit. The connections, the resources, the credibility that came with being tied to 1017 Records, all of it vanished overnight, like it never existed. One minute you're backed by a legend, the next minute the door gets slammed shut with zero warning. That kind of loss hits way harder than any diss track ever could. What this whole situation really exposed was the deep, long-standing tension between Memphis and Atlanta in hip-hop. Both cities move with pride, both play by their own rules, and both protect their own fiercely. For Pooh, choosing Memphis over Atlanta wasn't just about geography, it was about identity and belonging. In Memphis, he was a hometown hero. In Atlanta, he was just another name on a powerful roster. Yo Gotti represented the blueprint Pooh wanted to follow. Memphis boss who built an empire without bending his city's image for outside approval. That pull was strong and spoke directly to Pooh's ego and long-term vision. But loyalty in hip-hop is supposed to run deeper than city limits. When someone invests in you, protects your name while you're locked down, Pooh, choosing Memphis's acceptance over loyalty, made his priorities clear. He went for immediate love and validation instead of the long-term relationship that had already carried his career. For Gucci, that decision had to hurt on a personal level. This wasn't just paperwork and contracts getting torn up. Gucci genuinely believed in Pooh's talent and future. He saw something special and put real time, money, and emotion into developing him. Watching that loyalty get brushed aside had to feel like a straight slap to the face. The industry watched this unfold with mixed reactions. On one side, violating or betraying your mentor is seen as unforgivable. No excuses attached. On the other side, every artist understands the heavy pressure that comes with hometown loyalty. Still, understanding doesn't equal approval, and that's why this situation left such a bitter taste across the culture. Other 1017 Records artists had to be watching this closely. It showed just how fast loyalty gets tested and how quickly support can disappear when a line gets crossed. Gucci Mane didn't need speeches or warnings to send his message. Cross that line and you're cut off completely. No second chances, no back and forth, no public drama at all. The silence was loud, and everyone in the industry understood exactly what it meant. Industry veterans caught in the middle stayed quiet for a reason. A lot of people understood both perspectives, but nobody could publicly defend the way Pooh Shiesty handled it. Memphis itself was split right down the middle. Some backed him for choosing the city and standing with hometown ties, while others felt he played it all wrong. You can rep where you're from without disrespecting the people who helped lift you up, and that line matters. Atlanta, on the other hand, predictably stood solid with Gucci. Disrespecting one of their legends isn't viewed as personal, it's viewed as disrespecting the whole city. In the end, both sides walked away with losses. Pooh lost a powerful mentor and deep industry connections that can't be replaced easily. Gucci lost an artist he genuinely believed in and invested real time, money, and energy into. That short-term win of hometown acceptance may come with a long-term price attached. Burning bridges with someone whose influence runs that deep doesn't just fade away with time. In hip-hop, enemies last longer than hit records, and this fallout is far from forgotten by the people who really matter. This whole situation became a loud reminder that loyalty can't be bought, forced, or manufactured, no matter how much money or opportunity gets thrown around. You can open doors, put someone in rooms they never had access to, and protect their name when they can't protect it themselves. But you still can't program gratitude or respect into anyone. The hip-hop world watched in real time as a mentor-student bond that looked unbreakable got destroyed by bad decisions and clashing loyalties. It also proved that success in this industry takes way more than talent alone. You need discipline, awareness, and the ability to move smart through relationships that mix ego, pride, money, and old history. This situation exposed how personal drama and business collide in hip-hop, especially when unresolved wounds are still bleeding under the surface. The long-running tension between Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti, tied to Keisha Kaur, put Pooh in a position where he had to choose a side. And that choice turned out to be an expensive one. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about respect, memory, and loyalty that couldn't be split down the middle. At its core, this whole mess came down to respect and loyalty, plain and simple. Gucci had every reason to feel betrayed, and the way he handled it spoke louder than any rant ever could. He didn't crash out, didn't chase attention, and didn't turn the situation reckless. Instead, he made sure the consequences were clear, clean, and permanent. For Pooh, that decision is going to follow him for the rest of his career. In an industry built on reputation and long memories, betrayals like that don't disappear. People might stay quiet, but they never forget, and that's what makes this situation especially tragic, because it was completely avoidable. Pooh could have kept his Memphis ties strong, while still honoring the relationship that helped launch his career. Plenty of artists manage hometown loyalty without burning bridges. Instead, he chose the most reckless route possible, and once that line got crossed, there was no walking it back. For fans, this whole fallout is disappointing on a deep level because the potential was absolutely real and undeniable. The music was clicking, the momentum was building fast. And the legacy Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty could have created together is now gone for good. Wiped out by ego, bad decisions, and misplaced loyalty. In hip-hop, betrayal always comes with a price tag attached, and that bill doesn't expire, it always gets collected sooner or later. Gucci's response proved exactly why he's still standing strong after decades in this game. He understands that real power isn't loud, reckless, or emotional. It's staying composed while cutting ties clean and permanent. No chaos, no public meltdowns, just a clear message sent without saying much at all. That kind of discipline separates survivors from crash-outs in this industry. No. As this saga settles and the noise fades, one lesson stands taller than everything else combined. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Because when that hand pulls back, it doesn't just take money. It takes access, protection, credibility, and opportunity with it. There's no refund, no rewind, and no second chance once that door closes. And in hip-hop, closed doors don't reopen easily at all.